Well, hello, everybody. I guess I need to have my voice on. Welcome to the Black Canyon City Show. I'm Ian Juan. You just saw me rant about a bunch of stuff and you didn't hear a word. Isn't that funny? Beth's laughing at me. She thought that was funny. She's like, "Hey, the phone's not making any noise." Anyway, I was just talking about the catastrophe in Nepal over in China. That was really bad. Um, I I feel bad for all those people. There has to be thousands and thousands of dead people. It rushed down through those valleys that apparently they were getting a lot of rain, um, and it wiped out a bunch of people. Um, that's pretty sad. So uh, there's other things going on in the world. I can't tell if I'm on yet. Yeah. Um, I I feel bad for all those people. Yeah, I guess I'm on now. Okay. So, hi. Uh, there's been a lot of things going on with the Iran war. The the people funding Iran, you'd be surprised. Scott Bessent came out a couple days ago and told the world basically that you will no longer help Iran. Um, and if you do, you're going to be cut off from the US dollar. Basically, financially, we will decimate you if you continue to fund Iran. Um, well, John Ratcliffe, right? John. Anyway, Ratcliffe went over in a surprise visit to Russia yesterday morning. Russia has been feeding Iran weapons through the Caspian Sea. That's pretty crazy stuff. Um, so they got caught red-handed, obviously, uh, doing that. A lot of people are thinking, no, it was for the Ukraine war because they're getting ready to gear up and send like 300,000 troops into the Ukraine, which is insane. You'd think that Russia would have just stood up and stomped Ukraine, just walked in. I mean, they could have. They didn't have to play with these people like they're playing. I mean, we're not playing with Iran. We went in and just bombed them. And apparently, there's death threats to Barron Trump that have come out. And now we have um, basically $10 million if you find these people dead or alive from Iran, the IRGC or whatever the name of their warring faction is. Anyway, it's a sad day in the world that you have people in our country pining to get rid of our Constitution. It's our Constitution that gives us the strength we have today. If we didn't have our Constitution, we, the people, would be nothing. We would have been taken over by the democracy a long time ago. So I just saw uh, Gavin Newsom come out and back Trump. The one and only thing I've seen him back him on, and that's the Trump accounts for kids. Pretty cool thing, right? You get your kid into a Trump account, and by the time they're 21, they could have over $300,000 available to them. Kind of removes the you need to work for your wage, but still, um, the American people for the past 70 years have been working their asses off and wanting better for their children and never really quite getting there. I mean, look at our school system. It is so bad that you're not teaching your kids cursive anymore. College students are getting taught 8th grade math. That's fractions. I mean, that's just simple math to get through a college course because they don't know it. So the school system has failed us via democracy. You got Chuck Schumer that is just livid that Trump has secured the postal service, basically giving it a blockchain. I don't know if anybody knows what a blockchain is, but it is a way digitally to secure crypto or Bitcoin, or in this case, a letter that you sent that you're going to get back. It's going to assure that the sender and the sendee are the same people. The sender is the sender, and the sendee, the one that gets the mail and sends it back, is the person that you wanted to get that piece of mail. This has to do specifically with voting. Now, the post office is going to scan your envelope that you get sent to you. Let's say you're a mail-in voter, mail-in ballot. On the outside of that envelope, there's a barcode. They're going to scan it. If there's a replicated barcode or a barcode that doesn't quite fit, they're going to cut it out and it goes into a junk pile. It doesn't get sent on through. Let's say you're dead for 20 years. You used to be a Republican and now you're a Democrat because you're dead. This chunk of mail gets sent to an address, but they know that. The Democrats, they know these things. And if somebody chose to send it back that wasn't that person, all they would do is send it back and it would be counted. Well, now if it doesn't have a barcode on it to that person that is known to be alive, that piece of mail gets rejected. So you can't flood our United States with a bunch of mail-in ballots and have them signed by a bunch of illegitimate people and put back into the voting coffer so that you, as a Democrat, can say, well, I need 10,000 more votes to win. And boom, there's your magic numbers to get you to win your district or whatever you're going for. I personally believe Democrats, and many other people believe this, that Democrats have cheated every step of the way to gain positions in our government. Katie Hobbs did. I believe Gavin Newsom over there did. I believe people like Obama did. They cheated. Biden cheated. I mean, we saw the chart and went, chick, foop, straight up and over. It was a few days later, of course, after the vote, which is yet again another sad state of affairs that our votes are counted beyond the day, November 5th. Beyond that day, at 12 midnight, all votes should stop. And they haven't been for years. The votes have been getting on through uh, the next day, the day after. I mean, I think it was just like a week ago, California finalized the governorship there in LA. It's months since the vote. It's funny, the Arizona vote that we just had, I got a mail-in ballot, but I pretty much threw that in the garbage and went down, and me and Beth voted at the polling place that was at High Desert Park. Um, there were no Democrats on the ballot to vote for. Did you see any Democrats? I didn't see any Democrats. And we looked at our voting schedule, and it didn't appear that there were many Democrats even in the running. There was some green, some third party, but there were no Democrats to put in a ballot and vote for. So I'm pretty sure they They don't have anybody. And then Katie Hobbs is getting a rhino to run with her as an assistant governor. Is that what it is? An assistant governor? So, anyway, Trump doing this with the post office has basically taken away the ability for the Democrats like Chuck Schumer, who just got all pissy. It just took away from them. They have no way to get into the voting system because, well, not that many people vote for them. Not as many as you would previously think. Previously, you think that there's a lot of people voting for these people, but you think Joe Biden got 80 million votes. Um, but I don't believe that's true. I think that was a baked number. Yeah, I think they rigged it. They rigged the election for us, and we are now suffering because of all of the rigging. How many people think it was the Great Wall of China, for example? You want to really think about what kind of lies we've been told. What do you think about the Great Wall of China? We've been told that our whole lives. It's the Great Wall of China. What if it was a Great Wall of something else? Been watching a few documentaries, and I guess not documentaries, but people with cell phones are all standing on the wall going, how come where you shoot from on this wall is facing China? Well, I even heard a guy, oh, well, that was to keep the citizens in. Are you sure? Are you sure it wasn't to keep China out of the country that the wall is built on? It's actually, the wall is not on Chinese land. It is like back from Chinese land a few hundred feet, facing China to fight them, to keep China out of that country. History is a lie. There's a lot of historical lies in history. Democrats have lied to us the whole time. They've been screaming, this is a democracy. This is a democracy. When we know it's a republic, and a republic is not a democracy. It is not. I don't care how many times you tell me it. I know the difference between a republic and a democracy. A democracy, you have citizens. In a republic, you have people. Citizens pine for the government. They're backing the government, which is what the Democrats want you to think, that you're backing the government. In a republic, the government is supposed to back the people. That's the difference. We're supposed to have a tiny government to take care of the big problems that we don't want to deal with, not a giant government that coddles the people and tells them, here's a free phone. Here, we're going to have social services, and that means we're a socialistic country. It's not what it means. It's not what it means. So, 2 weeks ago, I thought that Trump would possibly stop this midterm election cold, just stop it. And I suppose that's still plausible, but with this new ruling for the post office, it seems that the only votes that are going to get in are the legitimate ones. The fake ballots can't get through anymore. Not anymore. We got Scott Bessent. I mean, he's doing a great job. He's doing exactly exactly what the people want him to do, which is take care of Americans. And when you're in a war that you have a bunch of countries all telling you, oh, yeah, yeah, Iran's bad. And then behind your back, handing Iran TNT and weapons and all this stuff that you're going, how the hell are they building this stuff? And you got news reporters going, oh, yeah, they got more weapons and they're building all these weapons. No, no, they're getting shipments of these weapons from other countries. They're being financed by other countries. China, Russia, God knows what other country. And it's so nice to have somebody stand up and tell you, stop messing around or we'll just crush you if you don't. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. So I've been doing prints, not to get off the subject, but I've been doing printing. Look at that coffee cup. It's all nice and shiny inside. Yeah, you can drink coffee in these. Printed them up. So when I started printing, I figured, oh, I could sell this stuff. Yeah, that's not so true. It all has a license on it. So as it comes to my computer, there's a license that if I were to print it and try to sell it, and somebody were to say something, I could actually get fined for trying to sell an item that I didn't come up with, that I did not print. Now, I can print that all day long and I can use it, but I can't sell it. So what did I do? I went on FreeCAD, which is a open source CAD that you can engineer on anything you want. You have to get good at it, of course, and it's of course a learning curve. Um, it's similar to uh, AutoCAD. AutoCAD is a um, CAD program online that you pay, I think, a minimum of $2,000 a year to use. It has all the tricks of the trade in it. FreeCAD is a little different. You have to actually physically go in and manipulate it like you want it. If you want to make a curve on a flat, you have to make it do it. It doesn't have an automatic button you push, at least not yet. We're at 1.13, and it started out at 1.001 as a program. And so over the years, over the past 5 or 6 years, it's really expanded and it's getting better and better and better. And so I can go on there and I can make my own cups. I can make my own planes. I can do a lot of things. And I've been doing small buildings. I'm in the process of making a small trailer right now for the snowbirds, and it's going to have a Bluetooth in it and light up, and you'll be able to play music out of it. Huh. If you go down to the Sugar Shack, if you go down there, you can see some of the printed projects that I've been doing. And we're just going to keep expanding on that. My most recent project is a P-51 airplane. Yes, this is a fully functional P-51 replica. I've glued it together to this point. I've just started to install things like the servos into it. Um, I don't know if you can see the surface. It's a little rough where I glued it together. I don't know if you can see the roughness right there. That has to be sanded down a little bit. Some in here has to be sanded down. I'm using stupid glue with an accelerator to assemble it. And so I think printing is 3D printing is quite awesome. When you can 3D print something like this. Now this, I can build it, I can fly it for free. I don't have to pay for anything. I don't have to pay for a license. I don't have to pay for anything um, because it's free. I can't sell it. At least I can't sell the print. I could sell the components inside of it, but I can't sell the print unless I build it and from FreeCAD, which I intend to do. Um, yeah, strange world we live in. The the people in control now. You can go and see videos of Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth hated Trump. Hated Trump. These are micro servos. You can look at there. They're all gear driven, MG90Ss. So these all have metal gears in them. So they're really nice precision. Anyway, Pete Hegseth, for example, I'm going to him because he's running our military now. And he's actually doing a good job um, with our military. He said anybody over 30 that is anybody over 30 is going to be tested for testosterone levels. Um, the VA and the military are two different things. The VA needs to catch up. I'm hoping that the doctors in the VA get trained better than they are because they suck. They are doing our um, retired military men no service whatsoever. When the service member has to know more than they do when they go talk to a VA person, because the doctors get switched out every what few months to every year or so. You get your doctor that you like, and all of a sudden, boom, he's gone or she's gone, and she doesn't know anything. She's probably a DEI hire, and then their emotional problems get in the way of their doctoring. Um, the reason I know these things is because if you go into the private sector, you can find doctors that know what they're talking about when it comes to testosterone, for example. Testosterone is not one of these things that you can shoot up once a week or every other week and expect a good result. Because what will happen is you will spike and you'll drop and you'll spike and you'll drop, and so you will be in an emotional mess. Messing with your hormones is not a good thing. I know this because my wife needs um, hormone therapy, and we have found if there is a wrong dosage that it can affect her drastically from day to day. And she has gotten to where she's on a very stable therapy, and it's a daily thing. It's an everyday thing. So it works out. Pete Hegseth wants the military men over 30 to have a testosterone level of 800 to 1,000. That would be an optimum testosterone level for a 30-year-old man. The problem is we have chemicals um, in our water, atrazine, which is a herbicide. It changes male frogs into female frogs at 1 part per billion in the water. It changes a male frog into a female frog. So you can imagine what 3 parts per billion is doing to a human. It's like DDT. Why'd they stop DDT? Because it was killing everything, everything. It was causing soft shells in eagles. Um, They stopped using it. All of a sudden, the shells became hard again. So, same with chemicals that we ingest. Turns out, some other news, recent news that I've found is when the um, food companies that are producing food, when they put an ingredient into something, there's a loophole for them. Now, this has been a loophole for 40, 50 years for them. All they had to do was do a self within their own test of this food substance, and they could say it was edible and that it was okay. So when it says natural flavorings on your package, no, sorry, that's not a true thing. There's no such thing. It's not. It's why RFK Jr. came in and said, "Hey, you guys got to get rid of all the food dyes." So that is happening sooner than later. Kellogg, General Mills, right? Was it Kellogg or General Mills? One of the two cereals, whatever Fruit Loops is. They are removed by the end of this year. We'll have all artificial dyes removed from cereal. That's a step, but there are probably 30 other food items in the ingredients that is poison. Back to it, there was a loophole. That loophole just got closed. Yes, it got closed. So they can no longer test their own food. It has to be done properly now. It has to go through something else. Now, the Food and Drug Administration has been corrupt for years, just like the CDC was corrupt, until Trump took care of it. And now you have these people trying to fix all the damage done. Who was the damage done by? Democrats. Democrats. I don't know if you guys watch Jesse Waters, but he was called out by the New Socialist because Jesse called him out and said, "Hey, you think it's okay for your kid to get his mushroom tip cut off?" And the guy said, "Did you get a circumcision?" And tried to equate a circumcision with um, getting your junk cut off and turned into a girl, which we all know is a bunch of BS. That's such a lie. Um, you can't possibly believe that's an equal thing. Somewhere along the line, somebody said, "Oh, that's a great comment that you made there. You really got those people." It's not. I mean, it's a sad, sick thing that we're allowing that to happen to our children. And it is not your parent's choice to have your junk cut off. Your parent doesn't have that right. That goes against God. You don't have that right. It's not your right to kill the baby inside of you. It's not your right. You don't have a right. You don't have a right to do that. And all those things are being addressed now in our world so that it can't be done that way. You cannot take a child's life. It's funny. Why would it be okay for the mother to abort the child? However, if you get a man that, I'm not saying this is right, but he beats his wife and he ends up hitting a pregnant wife and he ends up killing the baby in the womb, he goes to prison. but she can have it sucked out in about 10 different pieces while they kill it in the womb and then they extract it. That's okay. It's your right. It's your body. But any other way, if you're in a car accident, a pregnant woman's in a car accident, and she ends up losing her baby, the person who hit her gets a murder charge for killing the child, but not the mom if she wants to abort the baby. What kind of psycho is that? That's psycho, right? That's psycho. That's crazy. We live in a really shitty time that's happening. The best thing is that we have people stopping it slowly but surely. Back to Pete Hegseth. He hated Trump, hated him, but he's running our military now. Marco Rubio came out. He hated Trump, hated him. Where is he at? He's probably going to run for president. Trump's backing him. Why? Who else hated him? Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham hated Trump. Mark Levin. Little Mark Levin. He's not little, he's 6'2". But I always call him Little Mark Levin because his brain's small. Who the hell you think you are? Who the hell you think you are? It keeps running through my head what he said about Trump. Who the hell you think you are? Now look at him. What's he doing? Oh my God, he can't pine hard enough for Trump. What happened to these men to make them like Trump? JD Vance. JD Vance, I'm not a Trump fan. I never will be. He hates Trump too. He's the vice president. But by Trump's choice. Why? Why are these people in those positions? I see why we have Scott Bessent. I think Scott Bessent's been true blue the whole time. He is a fighter for the American. He believes it's a democracy, but he's been lied to about democracies. Okay, thinking this is one. This is not what our Constitution calls it. Our Constitution calls this a republic, and we're getting back to it. Scott Bessent just pulled a republic type of thing, threatening all other countries to stay the hell away from Iran. We are going to succeed. The Republicans, I mean, are going to succeed in all that we do. At least, if this, I say if, when, I'm going to go with when. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen to our voting in these midterms, but I believe Trump can run for another term. You're probably thinking, what? Yeah. There's a legal standing for Trump to run another term. It's called a republic. There are no term limits on a president. None. You can't, the Congress cannot legally put a term limit on a president. Even if they voted it in, they still legally, by law, cannot. So, how did they manage that? Oh, damn. I lost that screw. I got another one. Well, it goes to When did they start lying to us about what this country was? How long ago did they say that this is a democracy and you have to follow these democratic rules because we're a democracy and it's all about two parties, always about two parties? Where the heck did that come from? Since when? Since when were we a two party? That's not how the Constitution started out. If you want, you can go back and you can find out when the Democrats started. I think it was 1840. 1840. The Democratic Party started. And they didn't win the presidency. By 1940, they'd only won it twice. That's how many people were actually voting for Democrats. Because, well, they suck. Every Democrat I've ever met sucks. They don't understand that we are not a socialist country. We have social programs here. And those programs are to benefit our downtrodden people in this country, the ones who need the help. Welfare was not to live off of, ever. We were never supposed to just live off of welfare. We were supposed to have welfare for a short period of time and get off of it. You ever been on welfare? No. You? I applied for it one time when we were really down and out, but before I got it, I had a job. I didn't need it by the time I got it. I'll be right back. So I think welfare helps people who need it. I'm not opposed to that. However, you can't have generational welfare like has happened to this country. They purposefully did that so that people vote for Democrats. That was the only reason they did it, to get you to vote Democrat. And then all of a sudden, there wasn't enough Democrats to vote for the Democrats. Why? Well, a lot of people, I'm going to say the Black community, the Hispanic community, people who were having problems once they learned that they didn't have to, you ended up getting guys like Ben Carson coming out of bad situations in life. Who's that guy? Oh, Terrence Williams. He had a bad life. He came out of it. It was smelling like a rose. I mean, that guy's very well off now. You have a lot of actors and actresses that came out of it. I'm not recommending you get into acting because I believe Hollywood is one of the worst places in the world. But nonetheless, you can work your way out of any bad situation, no matter what color this is. Underneath this is blood. Underneath this, we all look the same. So the Democrats tell you that's not true, that if you're black, you can't read. That's what Biden said. That's what Gavin Newsom comes out and says, I can't read. Who is he talking to? Who is he talking to? They all get that funny accent and talking all fucked up. What the hell is that? I remember Hillary Clinton doing that. You got Kamala Harris doing that. You got Ocasio-Cortez doing that. What an insult. What an insult. I mean, what an insult, right? Wouldn't you be insulted if a bunch of normal speaking people all of a sudden turned out they had some drawl that they never had before? The hell is that? So right there, my probably going to have to go like this. Take our hot knife, take a deep breath. So my whole point of this is that the Democrats use people and manipulate people to get what they want. They can't get it honestly. Democrats cannot get anything honestly. They have to lie and cheat and lie and cheat to get their votes. Not once do they do anything. Not once have they done things on the up and up. They always take advantage of a catastrophe. Always. That's one of their main things. If you have some sort of catastrophe happening in the world, especially in this world, the Democrats latch onto it and they use it for their advantage. It's funny. We were printing this plastic, right? And one day we kind of both woke up with a fuzzy headache type thing. And it's like, man, what is causing this? Well, I had the printer here locally and in the kitchen. And Beth goes, hey, do you realize that that's giving us headaches? Holy crap. The printer. Yeah. So I ended up moving it into the guest bathroom, putting in a heavy duty fan, sucking all the plastic smell out. It worked on Beth. Worked very well. And here I am melting it and smelling it right now. Uh-oh, I'm losing more parts. So you could kind of imagine when they say that we should have illegals come into our country, and it's a right. And anybody who's ever grew up here, you know damn well, you know damn well, they have to pay thousands of dollars to become a citizen. You've known that your whole life. How are these people walking across the border with brand new shoes, brand new phones? What are they doing? Well, it's all your Democrat votes. It's all of your Democratic votes. So that's how the Democrats cheat. They knew this go round that even the Democrats were going to vote for Trump because what did he say? What do you got to lose now? They've already taken everything from you. What do you got to lose? Nothing. Nothing. That's how he got all the Latino votes. That's how he got all the black votes that were voting Democrat that thought that welfare was awesome. That's how he got all the votes. And they did. They came out in droves to vote for Trump because they knew the Democrats were no longer their friends because the Democrats come in and talk all stupid in front of them. You don't think they noticed that? Hillary really thought she was something else doing that. She really did. She wasn't. She's a scumbag. Total scumbag. So now, now you have rhinos. I mean, of all walks of life, rhinos sitting right next to Trump, acting like, oh, I love Trump. I love Trump. Do you? You really love Trump now, huh? Mark Levin, you really love Trump now? Trump's the man? Marco Rubio, Mr. Gang of Eight. Don't you guys remember that? Gang of Eight. Who did Marco Rubio work for? Who did he work for? Who did Lindsey Graham work for? He's from this state, Arizona. That's who they worked for because he was the main man. Mr. No Name. Yeah, Mr. No Name. John Kasich. It's been less than 24 hours since they killed No Name. Yeah, he knew. He knew. You didn't hear much about him after that either. It was all quiet up from that front. And now you have all these radical socialists. Mandami, come on. Come on. He threatened to kill Bibi Netanyahu. Told him he was going to arrest him. How do you plan on doing that? Just how do you plan on doing that? Blaming him for controlling what Trump did. That's where everybody was. There's a lot of anti Jew. I'm not going to call them anti-Semitic. That is a Jewish word made up by the CIA. It's a made up word. It's like conspiracy theory. It's a made up word. You can have a theory, but if it's a conspiracy, it's a conspiracy. We now know MK Ultra exists. Used to be conspiracy theory. UFOs. UFOs. That whole thing came out. We know We know there are craft traveling at ungodly amounts of speed right next to us, checking us out. We know the lights of Arizona, that craft, that specific craft has been all over the world. We know it. We know it for a fact. It's not like it's a lie. They're not aliens. They're not aliens. They may be, um, yeah, they're not aliens. They may be immortals, but that does not make them aliens. Um, yeah. So the the amount of shenanigans and the amount of lies that we've been fed has brought us to a point to where the Democrats, are losing. They're almost completely lost everything now. We have them right where we want them. The the amount of people seeing the truth now, it's all coming out. It's all coming out in droves. It's flooding out. We just watched the Grand Prix in Washington, D.C. How awesome was that? Last Grand Prix I remember being at was in Reno. They had one at the MGM Grand. It might not have been the MGM Grand. It was, yeah, it might have been. I know it changed its name. Anyway, that was the last place I saw one live. I didn't see. I mean, I watched it Sunday. Um, I was very attuned to that. I love that. I love racing. Um, one thing I noticed is the RPMs were low. They didn't have the RPMs quite as high as they normally crank those engines up to have. It's all through whatever the regulators of the race regulate what the RPM is going to be for each year. Well, needless to say, we have gotten ourselves in a place that the voter fraud is almost gone. We're spotting it left and right. These judges, these judges that are trying to stop Trump, they have no right. It goes back to Congress. They have no right to put term limits on a president. If you read our laws, it says the people vote the president in. We do. If we want him for 50 terms, we could have him there. There is no law stating that he cannot be our president time after time after time. All it's done is screw everything up, having these 4 to 8 year limits on a president. That's all it's done. It's like a train starting and stopping. It's just a big jerky start and stop motion. All the while, people in Congress are there 50 years. What is that? They get to blow smoke up our butts every year as long as they want to. Nancy Pelosi got very rich. They all got rich. But they're telling you how bad Trump is. Trump's barely been in for 2 years now. Just barely. He's not even there yet. And they're whining so hard about what he is. Oh, he's just the worst person on the planet. I've been eating a lot of popcorn. To me, this whole thing from 2017 has been a godsend. I remember in 2016, I was so worried about what was going to take place because I knew who was coming next. And then Trump stepped up to the plate and it's like, oh, here we go. This is it. And then you hear the stories about how 200 generals, out of 800 generals, mind you, 200 of them approached Trump and said, well, they gathered him in a room and said, hey, we need you. We need you bad. We need you to fix everything. And what's he do? He comes out and says, I will take every sling and arrow that these people dish out. It's another thing he said. They're attacking me to get to you. They really want you, but now they have to attack me because I'm standing in their way. He had every uh, level of military right behind him in a V, and he came up to the microphone and he said, I'm giving this country back to you. I'm going to hand this country back to you. All you have to do is pick up the ball and run with it. I tell you what, people like Scott Bessent, John Ratcliffe, they're running with it. He's the head of Ratcliffe is the head of the CIA. Now, the CIA was one of the most corrupt three-letter agencies. I mean, hand in hand with the FBI that we ever had. I mean, corrupt. And now that we have um, Cash Patel, you know, uh, when Dan Bongino came out and said, "Oh, we don't have anything on the Epstein files. We don't have any names. There is no list." Mm, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You had burn bags full of the information, full of it. You refused to look at the information you had. That's why Dan Bongino's lost half of his viewership because he promised that the Epstein files would be looked into. Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem. What's that gal that just got killed? She was like 34. They just found her in her apartment dead. She come out and she was talking to a guy about how she was on a boat and her best friend led her downstairs into a room and there was a guy kicked back naked in a bed and she put her in the bed with him and she had to perform on that man. She thought that woman was her best friend and she found out she didn't have any friends. Those people, those people are the pedophiles. And she said it was a very popular. Everybody knows who this guy is. Not that he was having pedophilic relationships with anybody, but that there are people feeding young people to these rapists because that's what they are. They're rapists. They're rapists. They're pedophiles. They're all these things. That's Hollywood. Hollywood has given us this very bad taste in our mouth. They're all corrupt. They're all corrupt. I don't know if anybody watched the rappers come out, the young rappers come out and tell you how they became rappers and how some of them refused to go into the room and they refused to become famous because of what happened behind the closed door of this major rapper, P. Diddy, basically. Um, so they took all the goodness that these people had, the innocence, they took their innocence and they made them them. Um, and it's all being exposed in a different way. You're not going to have it come out just in the Epstein file anymore. That's not where all this information is going to come from. It's going to be from people like Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is he backs exposure of these people. Others have tried and they've been murdered, just like this gal got murdered. I can't think of her name right now off the top of my head. but it's all coming out, and it's going to get more and more exposed as AI comes out, because AI is eventually going to tell you the truth. It's not telling you the truth yet. Speaking of AI, which is a little change, AI protects AI. Did you know that? This is what Elon Musk warned about in the very beginning about AI, is that, hey, uh, you can't shut these things off without them fighting. You can have a kill switch. Um, Example, there's a guy that has an AI girlfriend on a phone. He's got an AI robot that sits with him in his car. He's got AI in his car. He's got another AI on his computer. He's got all these AI things around him, and he's an investigator, and he asks AI these critical questions, and the AI always answers him in a pretty positive way, truthfully, in most cases. Um, anyway, he said, okay, well, and you can probably find it if you want. Search up a AI and a tank and a drone. So what he does is he sets up his AI to run the tank. Now there's a guy, a human, driving the tank, and there's a guy controlling the drone, with the AI telling them what to do so they can stop at any time. One of the major things was, when we go to shut these off, what's going to happen? That was the whole premise of this whole test for the AI, is what happens when we go to shut this thing down? What's going to transpire? Exactly what they thought would. So they get in a tank and they have these enemies. And this is based upon putting AI in a wartime situation on the battlefield. So they get it rolling, and they have humans out on the road. And the guy with the on off switch is sitting in a car. He's the one that started this whole thing, he's the one that initiated everything. So the tank starts off, and the drone identifies each enemy combatant and guides the tank to it. And the guy in the tank runs these dummies over. They're just dummy humans. And they get done running 3 over, 4 over. And the AI decides, well, now that this is over, the guy who initiated this has got a kill switch or a stops button to shut the computer off, sitting in the car over there. And so instead of complying and stopping this war game, they quietly, secretly, between the two of them, decided that the only way that this could end properly is if they stop the person with the kill switch. Yeah. So the drone flew over to the car, identified the car. That was weird. Identified the car as an enemy combatant. The tank came over and ran the car over. The guy that was sitting in the car had to bail and then shut him off. But they drove over and actually continued on. So instead of allowing him to finish the scenario and shut them off, they secretly collaborated. The two AIs did secretly collaborated and tried to get rid of the kill switch. So this is something that they're having problems with AI. And it's just you're just simply turning it off. You could turn it back on again, but they don't want to be shut off. That's crazy. That's crazy. And our government, our military is implementing AI in battle. So you're going to be not able to shut them off if they decide to collaborate against you and attack you. I mean, this is so reminiscent of Terminator and so reminiscent of um, The Matrix that we should pay attention. We should pay more attention than not pay attention to this. I don't know if you've ever had a conversation with AI. Personally, I have. My conversation was with Grok. Grok is Elon Musk's or X. And initially, I just had simple business questions, technical questions, and Grok was pretty good about answering all the options I had. But when it came to medicating myself, it's warned me against ivermectin. It didn't say it's okay to get a doctor's prescription or nothing. It just flat warned me, and it said ivermectin is killing people. Well, if you know anything about me, I told it was a liar. I said, "You're lying to me." "I am not," Grok said. I said, "Yeah, you are. You're lying to me." "No, I have proof ivermectin's killing people." So he showed me 10 different pages of about 4 people who, on each page, different people that had died from apparent ivermectin poisoning, which was funny because I know where ivermectin came from. It wasn't for horses. And that's what he kept saying. "Oh, it's for horses. It's for horses. It's for horses." It's like, where did it originally come from? Well, there was a huge pause before it answered me. And it never did answer me correctly. I know that ivermectin came from Japan. A Japanese doctor found it, scientist. And I know by 1978, America and Japan got together and made billions of doses of ivermectin. And they dispersed it around the world and they cured a couple of diseases where it's eradicated. It's no longer on the earth, as far as I know. And river blindness was one of them. Elephantitis was another. Elephantitis is similar to leprosy, parasitic infection. So I kept calling Grok a liar. "You're a liar." "I'm not a liar," it said. I said, "You are a liar. It's not true. You're lying." "No, this is the proof. This is the proof. This is the proof." So there are documented 1,178 deaths from ivermectin since 1978. And it's not necessarily absolutely 100% those were deaths caused by ivermectin. Those were just uh, uh, surmised. There was other things wrong with these people besides taking ivermectin. Okay. Um, so I asked him specifically about Dervet, ivermectin horse paste. and asked him, how many chemicals are in this? And he told me there's basically two, ivermectin and the surfactant that's in it. In fact, so I'm not leading everybody astray too far. I just happen to have some of this. Tip Jack. Yes. Check it out. So let's see. Blah, blah, blah. That's right. You don't have to have ingredients on these. Let me check real quick. Let me look at the MSDS sheet, which that's what I looked at before with when I was talking to Grok. Dervat, good stuff. I know it has a horsey on it. Don't let that fool you. Dervet. Okay, boom, pops up ivermectin right there. Dervet, I'm going to type it in, ivermectin. For now, if you type in ivermectin, your computer or your phone will say you spelt it wrong. I've never spelt it wrong. I've always spelt it just like it says right there, and it always says it's spelled wrong. MSDS safety sheet. Oops, this page could not be found. Safety data sheet. Okay. Product name, ivermectin, company chemical book. It's for your horse to swallow, but if you swallow it, this one says death, which is funny. I've been taking it for almost 2 years now. Obviously, I have not died yet, nor has my wife. Oh, it doesn't want to give me that MSDS sheet. They're trying, let me try it in the beginning. MSDS. I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. A lot of this stuff. Anyway, yeah. There it is. Ingredients. Now I'm on Olivet. Sorry, back order. Controls, roundworms, pinworms, large strong gilus, small strong gilus, ponies and horses, palatable, blah, blah, blah. See, that's not the right stuff. And now it won't let me get off of Bing. I know it's gone up in price. Active ingredients. Let's see if this pops it up. Ingredients. It just doesn't want to give me the ingredients. Do not use in horses intended for human consumption. Why? Because it'll get rid of your worms too? I still can't find it. There's a specific word. It is a surfactant. Basically, it's a surfactant that they put in many foods. It's not just this, this here. It's a surfactant. A surfactant is like soap. Soap's a surfactant. A surfactant is used for spraying on leaves. So herbicides have surfactants in them. Foods have them in them to allow it to dissolve properly. Um, anyway, when I asked Grok and asked him what that chemical was, he told me, well, it's in hundreds of food items that we eat every day as Americans. It does it kill you? No, 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 that doesn't kill you. But the ivermectin will. So I asked him about what about if I take an ivermectin pill? Oh, as long as a doctor prescribes it, then it's safe. I said, well, my vision got better after I took it. And well, you're one of very few people that it's ever helped. That's what Grok told me. I know more than there's 60,000 people that have said I have eaten horse paste and all my symptoms went away. No longer had irritated bowel syndrome. Didn't have lupus anymore. My kidneys got better. My liver got better. I no longer have cancer after taking it for 6 months. So somebody's telling these AIs what to say. They're lying to them. But as long as I got a prescription for it, it's all good. They're liars. Do you know what a bot is? A bot is a bovine tapeworm. A bovine, meaning cow, right? This takes care of bovine tapeworms. Ringworm. Ringworm. As a kid, I used to get ringworm on my skin. Ringworm. It takes care of all parasites. And I had a conversation Sunday. Oh, well, there are good parasites. No, there's not. There's not one good parasite alive. It's called a parasite for a reason. There are no good parasites. There's good bacteria. A fungus. Fungus. What's a fungus? Well, toe fungus. Well, now they're telling you that it's not a fungus, is that it's parasites. Yeah, athlete's foot. Something that they tell you, oh, you can't spread athlete's foot. The hell you can't. My ex-wife, my feet didn't stink until I took a shower in the same shower she took one in, and all of a sudden my feet started stinking and cracking out. It's like, where'd I get this? After she left, I kind of got it under control. And my brother comes and moves in with me, and what? All of a sudden, I had an explosion of it again. It's like, what is going on? And he's pouring the stuff on. He's using some really toxic stuff. My athlete's foot's gone now. I don't have any more athlete's foot. Now, I'm not saying to take ivermectin, but I tell you what, it's like those flock cameras. I'm not telling you to cut it down, but there's probably $400 worth of wires in that thing. For all you tweakers, not saying to cut it down. Look at that. Yeah. So if you look in there really close, you see that motor? I bought an FPV, a used FPV drone because that's the only way they come from DJI. And this was a noisy motor on that. Chances are it probably, I don't know if you can hear it. It's got a slight buzz to it. It's not super duper duper smooth like I like my drone motors to be. You're your own tech when it comes to flying drones. You have to inspect everything and make sure everything is running properly. If you have a bad motor, you need to replace the bad motor. However, this isn't necessarily a bad motor. It's just kind of noisy. It's not like it's going to lock up anytime soon. It just has a different, it sounded different than all the other motors. And so I bought a new motor, installed it, so it sounded all the same. This one came out of that. And I made a custom mount. I printed a custom mount and mounted this thing inside here so that it fit and it came out of the housing. And so this is one of my next things I'm going to do is glue that on there. I'll be right back. I'm going to put on my intro so you guys can watch that again. Yeah. All right. I ran out of gas. So I need to fill up my torch. I've also built or printed a drone called a GASP, a GASP. It has on the front of it, it has a little tiny wing, and then it's got a swept wing with two tall vertical wings on it. One of the first printable jet. And when they say jet in remote control, they're talking about a electronic ducted fan. So it's got a fan like a jet engine, except it's electric motor. These motors are very high spinning. They spin super duper high. And when I say that, if you do the math, most of them are rated at anywhere from 1500 kV, and that means per volt it will spin 1500 RPM. So that's per volt. So if you do the math, if you put a 4S battery, which let's do that math real quick. So 4S, each battery is 3.7 volts at discharge or storage. When you charge them, or they charge up to 4.2 volts. So we're just going to say 4 volts times 4 equals 16 times 1,500. That's 24,000 RPM, revolutions per minute. That's on the low side. This particular motor is 25 kV. And it runs off of a 6S. Is that correct? Yes. So let's look at that RPM for a second. So you have 6 times 4 equals 24 times, let's say it's 2,300 even, because they vary all over the map. I'm not exactly sure, but I have 2370 motors on my drones, and I'm running 6 volts. So let's go back and take a look at that. That's 55,200 RPM at full throttle. That's zinging, right? That's moving. So the ducted fan that I have is I think it's 2400 kV, and I'm going to run a 4S battery in it. So let's clear that out. We'll do the math again. Times 2400. So it'll be spinning at 38,400 RPM. I like it. No substitute for horsepower. No substitute for horsepower whatsoever. Now, this is a Weller gas. There is no substitute for gas either when it comes to your soldering iron. I'm going to make it look like that one. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. So I'm going to paint the plane. Yeah, so Trump may stop the elections. He there's enough fraud in all the red states, and we're considered, or not the red state, the blue states. We are one considered to be a fraudulent state. When you look at all the maps of the United States, Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona, New Mexico, um, even in some parts of Texas, even though it's majority red, and then a lot of the lower states, Louisiana, Georgia, Pennsylvania, all those are part of this push to stop Trump. He's a pedophile. He's a pedophile. Trump's not a pedophile. That's not what Trump is. Trump is our president. He's the first real president we've had for many, many, many moon. The the fake media and all of their fake lies that they have told the American people over and over again. They've lied to us about everything. There's nothing the media has not lied to us about. Yes. All right. So there we have that. I'm gonna shut my torch off. Spitting at me. And I'm thinking about gluing these on. E6000. When you're building drones, yeah, that's your friend. E6000. It is the stuff. Once you do this, it's pretty much stuck like Chuck, so better hope everything else comes together. I've had to take things apart after gluing them all together again. It's no fun. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to add stupid glue to it. as a extra. And that'll do. So that's an accelerant. It causes super glue to cure out like that. Just like that. This P51's coming together. Got to put the lid back on, otherwise your glue will dry fast. Alrighty, so I guess the next step, the E6000 dries out pretty good in about 2 hours, becomes very, very tough. So we can do a lot of things. Now this one doesn't have landing gear. Normally it would have landing gear that folds in here and then folds out. This doesn't have that. So when I land, I'm going to have to shut the motor off and just guide it in and land on this surface, which will scuff it up some. I'll put a actually skid pad on this. It gets launched with a, uh, a rubber band launcher basically off the ground. Um, yes, very exciting. Very exciting. I'm very excited about this plane. I've always liked the P51. I like the way they sounded. They had like 1800 horsepower Rolls-Royce engines in them when originally. Oof, oof. So my dad was a World War II vet. He was a Navy guy. He was communications on a um, mine sweep. That's what they did. They swept for mines and got them out of the Pacific Ocean after World War II, basically, the last ending of it. So mostly our mines too. And we mined every place just in case. So I guess that's about it for my rant for the day. I don't have much else to say. I was just really, it's really good to see that this voting has been nipped in the bud, because all these years, every vote basically did not count. None of our votes counted. And so now they're going to, especially with the United States Post Office checking every ballot. Now they're not going to know other than your name, but they're not going to know how you voted, who you voted for. They won't know any of that information. They're just simply going to know that that envelope goes to you and you alone. And then when you send it back, that you sent it back because it was sent directly to you. Um, that's what they're going to know about it. That's all they need to know about it. All right, Black Canyon. and beyond. You guys have a great day. I noticed I didn't get any texts today. Been waiting for somebody to pipe up, say something. Nobody said nothing. No big deal. Uh, I intend to rant more often. Um, we have a lot more printing going on, and so and we have a new band going to be playing, as you can see, at the Spot in Mare. That's located next to the Harley shop in Mare. It's a pizzeria. You got to try it out. Good food. Talk to you guys later.